Andrew McGahan for SevereMMA, standing alongside Cian, well, I was going to say Erraught, but I was going to try and make a little pun on the announcer's pronunciation of your last name. I'm sure as a Dundalk man, you're probably as insulted as I am. Erraught, I think he said something.
Oh, good God, that's not just not on. I'm going to have to go down and have some words.
Have a few words with Mark Leonard. Have to say, massively improved since your last fight.
Thanks very much.
You're straight out the bat, straight out. It seemed like he was trying to get in your head. What did you make of that?
That's just mind games. Like, it's I'm not going to say it's for weak-minded people, but if you need to do that to think, oh, he's scared of me now, then you're scared, you know. So I try not to rely on them, but if someone comes in and does that to me, I'm not going to back down, you know.
And speaking of that, he came out heavy in the first round.
He did, yeah.
He was swinging great shots. One thing I noticed, maybe the pivotal shot that you landed, it was a right hook from an exchange, and you just saw him shake his head, really, that he didn't want to be in there anymore.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've worked my boxing a lot with one of my coaches, Cian Erraught. He's an excellent boxing coach, and I can't recommend him highly enough. But when you do make that connection, sometimes you don't feel it. You don't see it until you see it on his face. And he looked at me, and I could kind of tell he was out of it. He didn't want anymore. And when I sort of controlled him then, from the top later on in the first round, I landed some heavy shots to around just behind the ear, just at the ear, and you could know he didn't want much more. Like,
to be honest, if the first round had gone an extra 10 seconds, I think you may have finished it. You were landing pretty unanswered ground and pound, saved by the bell, if you want to say it. But normally when we see you fight and you see the guys at the heavier weight divisions, it's unathletic guys that are fighting in that, but you finally come up against the guy who maybe looked a little bit bigger than you, I thought.
You know what, I actually that's probably what has me sort of most enthused about this. I came against another athlete and martial artist, and he's clearly very dedicated. He's in great condition. He's big, he's tall like me. I seen pictures of him, and I thought he'd probably be a bit shorter because he's well built, but he's the same height as me. He had very similar reach. He was a southpaw. He presented a lot of difficulties, and I overcame them, and I'm really proud of myself for that.
Two quick things before I let you go. You did qualify for the Las Vegas trials. Can you tell us what happened there? There was some issues. Some fighters from Ireland pulled out. What was the reason?
It wasn't really so much that we wanted to pull out, but the funding just never came about, and we were expecting it up until maybe 4 or 5 weeks out, and then when funding is pulled, we're all amateur fighters. I can't afford to pay 3 or 4 grand to spend a week in Las Vegas. Even it would mean a gold medal for Ireland, which I don't.
Where are you staying in Las Vegas that cost 3 or 4 grand?
Well, I wasn't going to stay in any kip, you know what I mean?
Of course.
I seen Connor's suite, you know what I mean? I'm not. We're all going to aim that high eventually, but just for the time that was in it, and if you're going to go, you're probably going to go to the UFC Expo that was on, and a fight. Those things, they all cost big money, like, and you just don't have it.
Finally, in my opinion, the changing moment of that fight, aside from the right hook, was the slam. Very, very impressive highlight reel stuff, lifted him above your head. Sometimes, though, fighters say when they get slammed, it kind of takes a few seconds for them to recover, and you passed him out with ease. He gave up his back, and you got the choke. Do you think the slam was actually the breaking point of the fight?
Well, he was. When I got him to the fence, I could feel he was tired. He was slightly broken. I went for his legs, and he had an underhook, and I crushed it fairly easy. And then once that's done, my hands clasped, he's going up, and that's it. Like, so once he got slammed, then I knew if I was going to slam him, I was going to take that big effort out of myself. I was going to have to slam him and take mount. There was no other option there, but I did get it quite easy. And again, that's up to the, like, I'm in sparring with Chris Fields, and Cathal Pendred, and Phil Muppler, and Peter Queally, and all the guys. They're all such excellent wrestlers and such excellent martial artists. It's hard not to learn just by osmosis, nearly.
Excellent, Cian. We appreciate the time. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.